Every powerful piece of writing, whether it's an epic novel or just a really important email, it's all built from the same thing, one fundamental block. And today, we're going to master that block, the paragraph. We're going to break down the blueprint for how to build a perfect one every single time. So, let's just start with the big question, right? What is it that separates kind of good writing from truly great writing? What gives words that clarity, that punch, that impact?
Well, the answer is actually way simpler than you might think. It all starts right here, with this one single essential unit. Seriously, the paragraph is the foundation that every great essay, report, or story is built on. If you get this part right, everything else just kind of falls into place.
Okay, so if we're thinking like builders, we have to start with a solid foundation. And in writing, that foundation has a name, unity. It is the first and honestly the most critical principle of any strong paragraph.
The whole idea behind unity is just beautifully simple. One paragraph, one central idea. That's the rule. The second you try to cram in a bunch of different points, your foundation cracks and the whole thing just gets confusing for your reader.
And the cornerstone of that foundation? That's the topic sentence. It does three really important jobs. First, it states the paragraph's main idea, plain and simple. Second, it acts like a gravitational center that holds every other sentence together. And third, putting it right at the beginning gives your reader a perfect little roadmap of what's coming.
So once that cornerstone is set perfectly, the rest of the paragraph is just about building on it with solid evidence. We're talking details, examples, facts, and figures, basically anything and everything that proves the point you made in your topic sentence.
Okay, our foundation is poured. Now we need the blueprint. The plan that gives the structure its shape. This is coherence. And it's not just about what you say, but the logical order you say it in. Coherence is all about creating a logical flow. Think of it like you're leading your reader by the hand from one point to the next. The goal here is to make your train of thought so clear, so easy to follow, that it's practically impossible for them to get lost.
So how do you create that logical flow? Well, you do it by choosing the right blueprint. Are you telling a story? Then you're going to use time order. Describing a room or a place, space order is your friend. But if you're trying to persuade someone, you got to use emphatic order. It builds to your strongest point for a huge impact. The pattern you pick really dictates the paragraph's entire logic.
Now, take a look at this sentence. See how it holds back the most important part, the lack of ethical oversight until the very end? That is emphatic order in action. It builds up a little tension and then bam, it delivers the knockout punch. See? That's the power of picking the right blueprint.
So, we have our foundation, that's unity. We have our blueprint, that's coherence. Now we need the mortar that holds all the individual bricks, our sentences, tightly together, and this is called cohesion. Cohesion is literally the linguistic glue of your writing. It's all about the specific words and phrases you use to explicitly connect one sentence to the next. This is what makes your writing feel smooth and seamless instead of all choppy and disconnected. And applying that glue is a pretty simple three-step process. First, you just identify the relationship. Are you adding a point? Contrasting one? Next, you select the perfect transition word for that relationship. And finally, just try to vary your choices so your writing doesn't sound too repetitive. Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got two separate statements. They feel a little abrupt. But on the right, just by adding one word, consequently, we suddenly have a clear cause and effect relationship. That is cohesion in action. Such a tiny change, but a huge impact. And here's a quick look at your writer's toolkit. Depending on the relationship you want to show, whether it's addition or contrast or cause and effect, there's a whole set of tools you can use. Knowing which one to pull out is really the key to building those strong connections between your ideas. But hey, cohesion isn't just about transition words. You can also create that glue effect by strategically repeating key terms or using pronouns like it or this to refer back to an idea you just mentioned. Or you can even use parallel sentence structures to signal that two ideas are related and equally important.
All right, our structure is built, but no project is ever really finished without a final inspection. This is that crucial revision step where we make sure every single part of our paragraph is solid, stable, and totally ready for the reader. And just like any professional builder does a final walkthrough, a writer needs to do a final inspection. We're going to use a simple but an incredibly powerful tool to check our work and make sure it's absolutely solid. It's called the test model. T, check your topic sentence for unity. Is it focused on one single idea? E,
check your evidence. Is there enough support here? S, check your summary sentence. Does it end with a punch? And T, check your transitions for cohesion and flow. Seriously, running every paragraph you write through this quick test can absolutely transform your work.
So, there you have it. You've got the foundation, you've got the blueprint, and you've got the tools for building perfect paragraphs. The only question left is, what are you going to build first?